That is a stunning piece of wood. I would have never thought in a million years that that would have ended up coming out. Don't even see it very well because it's so shiny, the light's reflecting off of it. But I took that bottom. So this is the project. I'm calling it my prehistoric bowl, as you can see from the title. The reason being is because it's old, chunky and rough around the edges, just like me. So, sticky and horrible. So yeah, yeah, nothing else to say really. It's failed. No good. So I'll see you guys next week. Fresh new project, one that works. And take care. Speak to you soon, and bye for now. Good afternoon and hello all. How are you all? Hope you're all well. Thank you very much for coming over and joining me. I'm on my own today, all on my own. Nick's gone to help a friend at work, so she's not here today. So unfortunately she'll be cooking all day, so she ain't gonna want to cook when she gets home. So anyway, so as the title says, it's about resin today. I'm going to do some resin casting, a couple of pieces. Brian from Woodturning asked me to cast him a blank for a wand handle, I believe, that someone's asked him to make. So we're going to do that. And also I've got a piece of burl wood that Pete from Twisted Trees gave me back in April on my birthday. And I want to colour some of the top of it. And then if the resin's dry enough, we will cast it and hopefully turn that next Sunday. But before we get onto that, hashtag pictures. Obviously, it's hashtag texturing the last weekend. So anybody who wants to send in their texturing photographs, send them in to me at skkrafts@btnet.com so we can get them ready for next Sunday. So you've got another week. If you can get the pictures into me by Friday night, that would be great, because that gives me Saturday evening and Sunday morning to get the video done, ready to show you guys on Sunday. And then, as always, as soon as the live's finished, we will stick it on YouTube for the whole world to see everybody's great work. I've had a few through already, some really nice pieces, but like I say, you've got plenty of time. You've still got a week to get them in, so plenty of time. So let's quickly, I've got to read the chat, unfortunately, so let's quickly go through the chat. Who was in? Obviously Colin from Woodwoodry was in first, as always. William Kenny, Dara Colin, Dr. Bob, Chris Dodds, Rob from Copper Hour Woodturning, so Wedge, Woodworks. I can't remember your name, sorry, sir. I think it's Andy, isn't it? Is it Andy? I can't remember. So many different names. Doug Miller, Ward Wilson, Amy, hi Amy. Door 60. Chris Dodds, I think I said that. Paul Heighton agrees with Turner. Hi Paul. AGK Andy. So let's have a look. Who else we got? A lot of talking going. Trevor Bartlett. Thank you, Trevor. Or Terry Bartlett, sorry. I thought you was on holiday, Terry. Anyway, welcome. Who else we got? A lot of talking going on. A lot of talking. So, Chris Charlton, welcome. Woodturning by Barry. Hi, Barry. Hope you're well. Kevin 9K Creations. Hi, Kev. Hope you're well, sir. Christine and Michael Heseltine. Good afternoon. Christine and Michael. Hope you're both well. So let's have a look. Who else we got in there? I think that is about it. If I've missed anybody, I apologise. Let's just have a look at the participants list and see if I've missed anybody. Paul Finley. I think I said Paul Finley. Rex B. Hi, Rex. Stephen the Wood Do. Hi, Stephen. I think other than that's it. So welcome everybody. Thank you very much for coming and joining me. Really do appreciate it. We're going to be over on the bench. I've got my laptop going on the bench, so I haven't got to keep turning around and looking at the chat. So hopefully we're going to keep up with any questions that anybody may have. But do bear with me because, like I say, I'm on my own. Everybody seems to be busy today. But we'll manage. We used to do them on our own before, so we'll do them again. Old Man River Woodturn. Hello, welcome, sir. How are you? Well, yeah, mine's the same. I've had to plug my laptop in. My laptop hasn't been turned on for about 6 months, and it didn't want to really start. So, right. So, what we're going to do, I'm going to go over to the bench. I've done a mobile camera, as you can see by the tripod. Hopefully, it's going to keep working. It's been working for the last half hour, so hopefully it'll be okay. So, what we're going to do, we're going to move over to the bench and do the colouring on top of the burlwood first. Like I said, it's the piece that Pete from Twisted Trees gave me. I've managed to find a tub big enough to put it in, but it only just fits in the pressure pot. So what we need to do is we need to mix up a little bit of resin and then do the colouring on the top of it, because we use the resin to stick the colour to. But we can't then pour the colour over the final pour over it until the colours are dry, because if not, what happens as we pour the resin in, it's just going to swirl the colours and make the clear resin look a funny colour. So we'll see how that dries. If it's dry enough by the end of the live, then we'll pour it. If not, I'll pour it later on this afternoon and we'll get it ready for next Sunday's live, and I can turn it next Sunday. And then obviously I'm going to cast a big blank that Brian wants about 140 mil long by 40 by 40. So I'm going to cast a big blank because obviously that's better to get a swirly pattern in a big blank than a small blank. So let's move over to the bench and we will see what we can do. So I'm going to move you guys over to the bench just like that. So this is the bit of burlwood I have. Let's just put this laptop playing so I know, so I can see what I'm seeing. Don't know why that's there we go. Try that. So what we're going to do is we're going to move that over. Technology, eh? So we'll get this one coloured first. So like I say, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up a little bit of resin, and then we're going to colour this. I'm going to try and do it like a purple and a like a currant colour. That's the plan. I don't know if you can see that very well, can you? Yeah, it seems to be. So let's see if we can move this other camera over so you can get a bit better view. This camera's definitely better quality. We'll see if the mobile camera works. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Right, you might be able to see a bit better on that one. Right, so as you can see, nice piece of burlwood. I managed to find a tub in the cupboard big enough to put it in. I had to trim a little bit off the sides, but it just about fits in there. So, like I say, we're going to mix up a little bit of resin and we're going to stipple this with different colours. The colours I would like are, I've got a scarlet and a currant. which are 2 different shades of red. And then I thought I might put a little bit of indigo just here and there, just to sort of give me those different colour effects. That's the idea anyway. So that's what I'm going to try. And like I say, if that's dry, then what we'll do is we'll cast it once we're finished. But up until that, we're not going to know exactly what we're doing until this dries. So this is the other mold I'm going to do. This is 150 by 150. The mold is actually 50 millimeters deep. This is what I normally cast my pen molds in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it. I normally only cast 20 mil deep on this, but I'm going to take it to the nearly fill it. It takes roughly a kilo of resin to fill it. So I'm going to mix a kilo of resin up, and I'm going to mix it. And wherever that comes is where that's going to be. Sorry, I was just trying to skip that advert. That's where it's going to be. And then what will happen is I'll cut a piece off of brine, and then whatever's left I'll cut into pen blanks, because obviously it's 40 mil by, if it's 40 mil thick, pen blanks normally 20 by 20. So that will be good enough for that. So, and the colours Brian wants for that are, there was a pen blank that, this is a pen that Brian cast, or I cast a blank for Brian that he turned a few weeks ago, and the customer wanted that sort of pattern in the handle of a wand. So that's what we're going to try and recreate. Now I'm sure the colours I used in that were ocean blue, sky blue, and a green, but I can't remember that was zombie green or apple green. I can't remember which green it was, but we'll pick one and see what we can do. So let's get some resin mixed up. If there's any questions, let's have a quick look, see if there's any questions. Like I say, just bear with me, because obviously we're on this laptop and I'm on my own. So I don't, was there any questions? Have a look. Woodworking, Jesus, you got that lovely bit of Bill, Steve. Thank you. Like I say, Pete from Twisted Trees gave it to me. Yes, I am going to paint it first, Andy, woodwork learner. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to colour it. Question from Rexby: can you do the top 20 techniques on resin videos? Unique thing. Syringe the tube, attach the previous place of resin within the resin. Yeah, the trouble is with techniques, there's so many different techniques on resin. It's hard to keep up with them all because everything changing. No, it's not the tub that Nick chops the carrots in. No, no, definitely not. She would absolutely kill me if I used a tub out of the house. Yeah, a kilo of resin is quite expensive. It's a shame really, because you're going to turn a lot of it away. But normally what I would do is I'd put a piece of wood in the top as a waste block. But because this nearly fills the tub, I can't really get a bit in there. So we're going to see what we get. Anyway, right. So let's mix some resin up. So I'm going to get a little tub, which I don't know if I've got one in here. Actually, I'll mix it on this. So we're going to mix it up. Now the resin I use, people say it should be volume, which I agree it should be volume, but the resin I use, it states in the instruction it should be done by weight. So that's how I'm going to weigh it. So the resin I use is Dipoxy. Now there's 3 different types of Dipoxy. Well, there's several different types of epoxy, but the 3 I use is this one. This is the main one I use. Now this is not crystal clear. This will dry with like a yellowy tinge. So if you're doing massive amounts of casting, what you want crystal clear, then you want the dual cast crystal clear one, which is perfectly clear. But because I colour a lot, I don't worry about this is just like I say, it's just got a slight tinge to it, so I don't worry about it too much. And then there's also another one I use, which is exactly the same as the crystal clear, but it's a slow cure. It takes about 72 hours to cure, where this is actually going off in about 45 minutes. Well, it starts to cure in 45 minutes and rock hard within an hour. So you're limited to how deep a pores you can pour with it. But saying that, I have poured that depth in a kilo tub and not had any thermal cracking. So it can work. I think it's just the luck of the draw. Right, so I'm only going to mix about 100 grams of this up. So we'll do 75 grams. No, let's do 100 grams of this, because we might need a little bit to seal pieces, because some of that wood is a little bit porous. So, and then, so it's 2 to 1. So then we need 50 grams of part B. So everything's going mad. Everything's pinging and ringing. Right, always the case when you're on your own. Right, so stir and stick. Make sure you mix your resin well. That's the most important thing. If you don't mix it well, it will not cure properly. You'll end up with hard and soft spots, which is not what you want. We're not going to worry about getting air bubbles in this, because obviously we're going to be painting over that piece of burlwood, so it doesn't really matter. So we're going to mix this for about 2.5 minutes, and we're going to make sure we get it mixed up well. And while I'm doing that, I'll try and read the chat at the same time. Been easy with a mouse, wouldn't it, really? But never mind. So let's have a look. So is there any questions? I don't think so. Questions: where do you get your mixing measuring pots from? I get my the ones I'm now mixing, which are 550 grams. They all come from eBay, but the kilo ones I got, Roy got them for me, because Roy goes to quite a lot of car boots and all that, and Roy was on a car boot, and he managed to get some for me. Amy, have you got Skype? Because I'm not going through StreamYard, so I can't bring you in unless you've got Skype. All right, sorry, Wedge. Chase. Sorry, mate. Hi, Mark from Shop Dog. How are you doing, bud? Hope you're all right. Yeah, they were cheap. They was good buy, and I appreciate it, Roy. Thank you very much. So we're going to mix this for about 3 minutes. Just make sure we get it mixed right. I mean, there's not a lot, so we will see what we got. Like I say, if you don't mix it properly, you will end up with high and low, or soft and hard spots when you're cast. That's not too bad for this sort of thing. Yeah. Trouble is, there's so many people with so many different names, and names is not my great thing. Faces I'm fine with. I can recognise anybody from anywhere, but names I'm terrible with. Good morning, Ruby. How are you? Hope you're very well. All right, so I think we're there. All right, so let's take this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some little, use these little shot pots. And we're just going to, first off, actually I'm going to leave that in there because I don't want the resin all over my bench. So we're just going to gently pour a little bit of this resin over this, and we're just going to spread it about. And what we can do then is we can get our colours and gently start to get those where we want them. It's always nice just to colour the burl because it just breaks up a little bit from being brown and boring. And the other thing as well, it seals it as well, so it should stop some of the air bubbles coming out once we cast it. Because this is not treated, this is not been vacuumed, so it's not been resined or whatever you call it, pressure treated, not pressure treated, what do you call it? Covered in cactus juice, you know what I mean. So it will just seal some of that timber as well. So we're just going to paint this edge as well, just to seal that a little bit. Make sure we get a nice coat on that. Coat the whole thing, I think. That'll save on there. Hopefully that'll seal it a bit better. So when we come to cast it, there shouldn't be hardly any air come out of it, because that'll soak into that timber now. So hopefully seal that right. So I think we've got everywhere coated. So let's just get some tissue. Stabilize, that's the word, stabilize. Well done. Yes, Rube, I'm just putting clear varnish on at the moment, and then I'm going to put some colours over the clear varnish. I just want to make sure I've not missed any questions. So I'm just quickly scanning by through these, just make sure I've not missed anybody. Right, so colours. I've got currant, scarlet, and indigo. So I'm going to do scarlet first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try. I'm not going to guarantee it's going to work. I'm going to try and pour a little bit in this, one of these little pots, so I'm not contaminating my my actual packet of colour. Now you don't need a lot. So what we're doing is just dabbing this on the piece to try and bring in those, just to break it up a little bit really. I'm not going to cover everywhere with the scarlet because I want the other colours to come into that as well. Now, this is only the second time I've ever done this, so we'll see how it comes out. A little bit more scarlet, I think. We'll be all right. We can manage. We can manage. You guys can bear with me and be patient. We can manage. So I'm hoping with the contrast between the scarlet and the the current, just give me that little bit of give that a little bit of contrast. So we just clean that little bit out of that brush. So let's go for current. Fingers and thumbs today. So a little bit of current. I don't want too much current. Not quite as much as the scarlet, because this is only a little bit darker. Not much darker, just a little tiny bit. So we're just going to try and blend that into those. Can you guys see that? You can't really see that. Let me put an overhead camera. See if that's any better. So we're just going to put some of this current over this. That should just give us that little contrast between the two different colours. Yeah, I need reading glasses now, Rex. I'm getting old, and my eyesight's going like my memory, mate. My granddad always said to me, as soon as you hit 50, it's all downhill from there. And he was right. He was right. Right. Have I get my head out of the way, don't you? Should have said I had my head in the way. Right, so last colour I'm going to do is indigo. Look at the mess. Oh my God. Look at the mess. Good lean in that. Right, so last colour I'm going to use is a bit of indigo. No, it shouldn't do, because what I'm going to do is once I've done that, I'm going to use the rest of the resin to go over the top of that, blend the colours together and seal the colours in. So when the next colour, when the clear resin goes over the top of it, it should already be sealed, so it can't go anywhere. So right, so that is all I'm going to do. All I'm going to do. So now I'm going to get this rest of this clear. I'm just going to gently pour this over the top, not trying to. All I'm basically doing is wetting the powders to seal them together. Wasn't really wet enough for it. Could have been a little bit wet, but hopefully those colours will bleed together and give us a bit of a colour variation. Ideally, it would have been nice to have one colour. It was a pearl colour, but I haven't worn like a translucent colour. Not translucent, what do you call it? Yeah, pearl colour. So it would have blended together and done that, but I might just sprinkle a little bit of purple over that, so we've got a little bit more purple on there. That will do me. Right, so we're going to let that go. We're going to let that dry. And like I said, don't think that will dry by the end of the life, but we will see. So we're going to push that over there. Can you see that? Bring it a bit closer to the camera. Look, where are we going here? So got the purple and the two reds. Hopefully once you get our resin poured over the top of that, that will come really nice and vibrant when we turn it out. So we'll end up with some natural, and we'll end up with some colours as well. So hopefully it should give us some nice effects. Right, so we'll put them back up. Put them back in the box. Clear the mess up. So the best thing to clear the mess up with is some acetone. Let's wipe off the excess. Put that in the bin. And then we'll get some acetone and wash that off. Good thing acetone is it dries quick. So if not, we're going to lean in it and make a mess. All right. So that's that. So I'll check the chat over here because I can see it better. So let's have a look. No, so reading glasses on the table like me. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you're right there. We said about that. So old man now. Question. Will the colour bleed? No. We had that question. No. Once it's dry, it should be fine. Yes, make sure you wear eye protection. I think that was the only question, wasn't it? Hi, Mark. How you doing? Mark Stroughton. Hope you're very well. Want to make stuff? I think it's Aston. Is it Aston? I can't remember. Yeah, don't scratch your nose. That's about right. It's not a problem, Mark. How you doing, buddy? Hope you had a good day yesterday. Should colours and... Yeah, I had a large silicone mat, but what I normally do is if I spill resin on there, I normally wipe it with acetone. Then every now and again, I'll just get the sander on and just sand off the bench. Hence why it's like it is. It's only a piece of plywood. So what I do is if I spill a lot of resin on it, I just sand it back every now and again with like 80 grit, and it takes it back to good then. Right, so this mold, like I say, it takes a kilo of resin. So what we're going to do is we will mix a kilo up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it because I don't want it all in one pot, because that'll be a right nightmare to stir. We're going to mix it in 2 pots. So what I need to do is I need to mix it in 2 of these, which will make it a lot easier. So 2 to 1, what's that? Let's say 999 grams. So 666 of part A, and then 333 of part B. So if we split that, divide that by 2. Yeah, my slowly making a river table. Yeah, makes banks. My pot is set to 50 psi, Ruby. So let's change camera. So we're on the mobile cam. That will show a bit better. Right, so what I'm going to do is split. So I'm going to put 333 grams in each of these pots. I'll turn the scales on. So part A first. So 333 or thereabouts. It's a bit too much too. It's 342, that one. Is there enough? 334. And the same in this one. $334. It's good enough for me. So now, get a bit of tissue. We need our part B. So we'll use modern technology to make life easy for ourselves. 333 divided by 2, 166.5. So tear that. So 166. 56, 62, 64, 66, well, 68, but that's near enough for me. It hasn't got to be absolutely, it's not that we're doing a massive amount of pour, so. So that's both exactly the same. So get rid of those. Now we've got to mix these up. Like I said before, about 3 minutes. So we get a continuous mix. Good afternoon, Glenn. How the devil are you? There's a question there. Where did I just go? It just has vanished on me. So, what pressure? Right, that was Ruby, so we read that one. Are you slowly making a river table? Yeah, we read that one. What depth of cast can you do without a pressure pot? Right, I've done 50 millimeters by 300 mils square without a pressure pot, but that's just resin. The only thing you have to do is you have to keep an eye on it while it's starting to go to just pop any air bubbles that will rise, because as it creates heat, the resin will, any air will rise to the top, because as it creates heat, obviously it gets thinner, and then as it starts to cure, it gets really hot and then goes solid. So, like I say, I've done 50 millimeters deep by 300 by 300 or 12 inches by 12 inches. All my pen blanks I never put in a pressure pot. This is 150 by 150, and I normally do this 25 mil thick, and I don't put that in a pressure pot. Again, I just check just keep an eye on the resin as it's curing, make sure I just pop any air. But other than that, if I'm doing a bowl like we'll do that one there, I will put that in a pressure pot, because if not, it will, because it's with timber as well, it's going to create air bubbles. So we want to try and rise those, push those air bubbles out. So that one will go in a pressure pot. But like I say, depends on your resin as well. Depends how lucky you feel as well. So wrong way. Slow cure is less prone to produce air bubbles than the this stuff. I mean, you get around about 45 minutes with this before it starts to generate heat and start to cure. So we've got plenty of time. But like I say, the main thing is getting it mixed properly first. Then we're going to separate it into different pots to get our colours, depending on what there's the biggest colour we want, depending on what size pots we use. we got? Diamond cure, diamond ice cubes. Yeah, I've got an ice cube tray up there that I use for making ice cube shapes. I also got the honey bear, the gummy bear one as well, which I made loads of those. Morning, Pete. How the devil are you? Thanks for coming over, mate. Obviously, you're not home yet. Didn't know Joe was available, Glyn. I thought Joe was working today with you. That's why I didn't ask her. Hi, Ash. How are you? Thanks for coming over. Just got sober enough. Well, I hope you had a good weekend, Pete. Yeah, I know. I know everybody would have volunteered. But I thought, since it's only resin, then there wouldn't have been a major issue, to be honest. It's not a problem. It's just keeping up with the chat. You know what I mean? That's not that I'm doing anything that I can't stop and start, so it's not a problem. As long as this camera carries on going, we'll be all right. It's not a problem, Amy. Not a problem at all. We can do what we can do. Other than that, doesn't matter, does it? It's not important. There's more important things in the world than a YouTube live, so don't worry about it, guys. So make sure we get these mixed up well. Hi, Steve. Trying to master the skew. Are you getting to do any lives on skew work to help us guys out? Right, so I'm not the best person to ask about the skew because I don't really, I do use it, but not not a lot on lives because I'm not confident enough with the skew. If you want any tuitions on the skew, you want to go to TJ Turning's website, no, YouTube channel, TJ Turning, and have a look at his YouTube channel. He has got some videos on how to use the skew, and he is one of the better, who I know, skews masters. Let's put it that way. What I'll do is at the end, let me just mix this up, and then I will put his link for his channel in, or if Pete's can put Terry's link in for his channel, that would be really appreciated, Pete. Because Terry has got some really good demos on using the skew. Like I say, I'm not the person to ask for skew lessons. John Foster, sorry. How do you gauge what pressure you need in the pot? Your pressure pot should always be set at 50 psi. It don't matter what you put in it. It should always be the same sort of pressure. Like I say, you don't put it higher or lower depending on the materials. You always put it in at the same. Oh, thank you very much, John. Very much appreciated. Thank you, sir, for that. Very much appreciated. Yeah, let me just mix this up and I'll put his link in for you, for his channel. Oh, there you go. I think Thank you, Pete. So I can do some skew work, not this Monday, but next week if you want. But Terry's quite a few here. Yeah, Terry's got quite a few, but like I say. Right, so I think we're mixed. So the colours we're going to go for on that picture I showed you are sky blue, ocean blue, and then I can't remember if it was apple green or whether it was zombie green. Now the zombie green and apple green are very, very similar, as you can see. The only difference is the zombie green is more of a vibrant green. So I think I'm going to go for the zombie green because I want that vibrant green in it. So we now need to split our colours. So we need another pot. So on the picture that Brian sent me of that pen blank, as you can see that? Yeah, you can see that. So there's a little bit of green at the top there, and then we've got our two blues mingled in there with a little bit of green in them, and then obviously our darker blue down the bottom there. So we're going to use, not going to use a lot of green. So let's judge this. So we've got 475 grams or ounces in there. So let's break that down to, let's say 350 of green, because the darker colour you don't want as much of because it will overpower. And let's say 250 of the ocean. No, actually 200 of the ocean. 200 of the ocean. And then that'll leave us 350 of the sky blue, which is a real nice colour, sky blue is. I'm going to move my glasses before I end up getting resin over them. So we need another mix some stick. So we'll do the green first. Now what you got to do is with your if I can get the pot open. What you have to do with your resin is, because we don't want the colours to merge and mingle into one colour. What we need to do is let them to start to cure. So we're going to mix the colour in, and then we're going to leave them gradually to cure, and then we're going to pour them just before, well, let's say a few minutes before they start to actually set. So that stops the colours mingling together. So let's mix these colours up. This is our zombie green. And as you can see, it actually changes colour a little bit when we mix it in with the resin. It goes a little bit darker. Actually looks different colour. It looks blue there, but greeny there. So like I said, it's more of a vibrant green. So hopefully. Now you want to make sure you get enough pigment in it so you get a nice. So what I do is I lift it out the stick, or lift it out on the stick, and if I can see through it when I lift it out, then I want more pigment into it. It's not quite dense enough. Because if what happens is if you turn it to a thin point, it will go translucent, which is not what we want. So just getting enough of that pigment in there to make it so it's dense enough, or the colour's dense, or not so translucent. So as you can see there, that is now much better. It's not as translucent now. So just make sure we get that mixed up well. When I'm doing my pen blanks, I also add a liquid as well to actually colour the resin before I put the powders in. Zombie has more blue. Oh, right, okay. Thank you, Ruby. Oh, thank you very much, Ruby. See, you learn something new every single day. Thank you, Barry. See you later, mate. Take care. Right, so this is our ocean blue. It's quite a dark blue, but a very nice blue. So as you can see, nice rich blue. And all these colours have got a pearl finish to them. So they've got that little shimmer on them when you hold them to the light. And we're going to do exactly the same. We're going to mix this and test it on our stick. Make sure it's not too translucent. make sure we mix that well. And then we're going to do our final one, which is sky blue, which I must say is one of my favourite blues. Sorry, Chris. A friend rang her yesterday and said she was short-staffed and would Nick go and help her today. So she did ask me. She said, "Is it all right if I go?" And I said, "Well, you didn't ask me the other weekend when you cleared off for the day." So, like I say, she's gone to help her friend. So as again, just check it, make sure it's not too translucent on the stick. So that's our colours mixed. So we'll put these back in the tub. So like I say, we're just going to now wait for those to start to cure off. So we've got about another 15 minutes, I think, before they start to cure. Yeah, some if you're doing pen blanks, and you don't put a color, a resin dye in them, which are little bottles like this. If you don't put like a resin dye into them, then if you turn them too thin, you will see the barrels of the pens in the bottom or through the resin. So you do need to put a dye on them. Yeah, I had that when I first started making pen blanks. I made some purple ones for Brian, and when he turned them, you could see the copper barrel through, not copper, the brass barrel through the middle of them. So we had to recast them, and I think it was Lewis Golden from Klondike Craftsman told me to get some of those dyes and put the dyes in them, so you actually dyed the resin so it wasn't so translucent, which worked really, really well. Yeah. No, I didn't say no. I wouldn't dare say no. No, I've got. It doesn't make a difference to me, but to be honest, she does what she wants. She's her own person, isn't she? Can't be too. Can't crack the whip, can I? She'd kill me if I crack the whip. Indirectly, Steve is cooking. I don't know about that one. The thing is, when you're doing things like platters, you want them translucent so you can see a little bit of light through them to give them that bit of extra character. But obviously, when you're doing pen blanks, you don't want them translucent. You want them, excuse me, you want them solid colours. So, Colin, if you go onto Amazon or eBay, you can get them from there. If you remember, a few months ago, I trialed some for a company. Where are they? Can't remember where they are now. Are they these ones? No, not them ones. I had a company send me a load, didn't I? And I trialed. So these are from here. Look. A company sent me these HTV Ron. They sent me. There's 24 colours in here, all nice, vibrant colours, and I trialed these. If you remember rightly, I did the gummy bears, and they are really, really good colours, and they're not expensive. I think they're about 15 to 20 pound a pack, so well worth having. There you go. Look, Shop Dog has said that who does good colours. Roy, the answer to your question is no. I've told her if she's going out earning for the day, she can buy me a takeaway. Whether that'll happen or not, I don't know. But yeah, those ones I got sent, so they was freebies. But the ones I actually bought, I got from Amazon. See you, Ruby. See you, Ruby. Have a great day. Take care. Yeah, so the ones I bought come from Amazon, and they are good colours. They're virtually the same. Obviously, much probably made in the same factory, just different brand. Right, so we just got to let these warm up now, ready to start to cure before we pour the colours together, because if not, they're just going to be one massive colour. So we're just going to keep checking the heat on them. Want them normally start pouring when they get to about 90 degrees. It will get up to around about 120, 130 as it's curing. No, it's not fading, Chase. It's not that it fades. It's that if you turn a pen, well, I ain't got one in there. If you turn a pen and the pigments are not, if you're using powdered pigments, if you turn it thin and you've got that brass barrel through the middle like you have on a pen, you can sometimes see the brass barrel through the pigment. If you put a dye in it, you lose that problem because you're dyeing the resin before you put your pigment into it, so it just gets rid of that problem. They don't fade. The color, the pigments don't fade. That's not what I mean. It's just that if you get a piece of resin that's dyed and you turn it thin, it will become translucent, or powdered resin pigments, it will become translucent. So no, it's not dyed or fading, should I say. So hopefully these colours will come out nice, and Brian will be happy to turn these resin into his wand. So we're up to 30 degrees, which is near enough room temperature, I would imagine. Or Celsius. This came from eBay. A long time ago. 3 years ago, I would imagine. Oh, okay. So I don't use micro powders. Too expensive. I get the powders, the powders I use. I can't remember the name of the guy who I get them from. Yeah, that's if you use the alcohol inks, you won't get the translucent effect. You won't get the fading or the translucent look. It makes it a permanent color all the way through. Just adds to the pigments. Yeah, eBay. I would imagine about 20 quid, maybe a little bit more. But we'll see. So we just got to wait for these to warm up now, unfortunately. That's not going to be dry because that's still wet. Yeah, good tool. Very good tool. Celsius or Fahrenheit. You can set different alarms and levels on temperatures as well on it. So it's a good piece of kit for the price you pay for it. Like I say, I only use it really for resin. Don't use it for much else. There you go. Roy's put 14 quid on Amazon. I take it that's for the thermometer, is it, Roy? Good idea for when you're doing resin. I've got some little timers as well that I use. So if I'm doing a massive amount of resin, I'll set the timer so I know exactly how long I've got. Because when it starts to go, it does go really, really quick. So so I've got those timers, and then when I get to the, like I say, you get about between 40 and 45 minutes, depending on the the warmth in the workshop. So as soon as I start to get to a certain level or a certain time, then I know to start checking. And like I say, once it gets to my ideal temperature that I want to pour at, then I know I'm getting close. Yeah, that definitely came from eBay. I know that came from eBay because when I bought this, I weren't using Amazon, so I know it came from eBay. It's got a bit of resin on it now, but it's all right. Trouble is you get a bit on your gloves and then you touch your gun. So yeah, I would imagine they're all made by the same sort of people anyway, to be perfectly honest. But for the money they are, they're worth having. Right, we'll wait for that. I'm just gonna have a quick swig of drink. Okay, Chase. Understand that, yeah. Yeah, resins are definitely not designed to be in the sun. Good question, Dara. Steve, why do you have that mirror on the workbench? The reason that mirror's there is because when Nick comes and cuts my hair, I can see around the back, make sure she ain't botched it up, because she cuts my hair for me. So that's why that mirror's there. Which I need doing now. She could do my hair tonight when she comes home. To be honest, she'd be home by 4 o'clock. Need a haircut. Starting to look like a hippie. Starting to get me eyes and all sorts. So she couldn't sneak up on me. No, I've got CCTV for that. It pings when there's somebody move outside or coming towards the workshop. So let's just check these now. They'll start to, should be getting a bit warmer. You know when they start to warm up because the you'll see the swirling in the thingy. You need these YouTube celebrities to do it. What, cut my hair? Yeah. You should get Nikki to cut your hair online. We could all. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think so, Pete. I know what you're like. I'll end up with a stripe somewhere. I haven't been to the barber since COVID because I used to have my hair cut every 3 weeks, and the lady who does our hair, she was a high risk person for COVID, so I asked. I made the commit, or should I say, we made the decision to buy a set of clippers, and she'd never cut anybody's hair in her life, and I made the sacrifice. I thought, well, I'm locked down in COVID. I can't go nowhere for 6 months, so that'll grow back by then. So I'll let her have a go. And she's been doing it ever since, bless her. But she does get forgetful sometimes. So All right, let's just check this again. It's getting there slowly. Trouble is, once that starts to go, that'll go really quick. Design opportunity, Steve. Yeah, don't tell her that, for God's sake, Glyn. Don't tell her that. I could be in trouble with you lot. So hopefully, this one will be cast for next Sunday, so we can turn that. Like I say, that's a piece of burl that Pete from Twisted Trees gave me in April. So I'm looking forward to having a go at that. Like I say, that's the second one I've only ever coloured. Normally I just cast them and don't worry about colouring, but I thought that would just make it look a little bit better. The reason being is because the one that Mark from Shot Dog sent me, this one, he put a bit of colour around the rim of his. I don't know if you can see it in there, can you? Like a purple and a pink. So, oh, excuse me, and it looked really nice. So I thought I'd have a bash and see what we could. Oh, excuse me, just had a mouthful of Coke and it's give me gas. Sorry. What's copper our wood turn, Steve? You do not mix each before take their temps. You do not mix each before. No, because if I keep mixing them, the temperature will drop a little bit because you're adding a little bit of air into them. And plus, the more you mix them, the more air you're putting into them. And I don't want to do that. I really would like the air as it starts to heat. I don't want the air to rise to the top a little bit. So that's the idea of not stirring them every time I take the temperature. You can feel the tubs just get, but you can see that there's a few air bubbles starting to come to the top. So that's what I want. I want all the air to rise. And the more I stir it, the more I'm stirring air into it, which I don't really want to do. Oh, that's handy, Kev. Yeah, I'm sure I am, Andy. Safe for you guys. Yeah, I'm sure I am. Yeah, that's about right. 2 weeks between a good haircut and a bad haircut. Well, I must be. I'm quite lucky. My hair does grow quite quick, so that's why I used to have a cut every 3 weeks. And I don't like it long. I hate it because my hair's so thick. When I'm working in houses, it just makes me sweat so much. That's why I have it cut regular. It's not hard. It's 2 on the sides and 3 on the top. That's all it is. It's not hard. Yeah, I agree with that, Glyn. White pearl on a bill works really well. I remember watching Heath do one of those. Come out really, really nice. I have got some white pearl in there, really. I could have done it with that, but too late now. The only trouble is putting colour on your bill is when you do your resin, clear resin, it'll make the resin look a colour, not actually be a colour, but it'll make it look a colour because you'll get the colour the colour glimmer off of the burl into the resin. Yeah, Nick does mine with the clippers. I did buy a better set of clippers because the ones I bought over COVID were cheap, and they weren't the best. So I did buy a decent set. Thank you very much, Mark. Hope you have a good day, mate. Have a good one. Speak to you soon. Thanks for coming over, mate. So next Friday night we have Stuart Farini joining us for our special guest airworm. That'll be interesting. As always, a good guest. Stuart is one of the, well, in my eyes, one of the better colouring people out there. Always a good laugh. Nice chap, actually, Stuart. He's a nice guy. What we got here? Woodward problem using clippers as losing power halfway through. I don't have that problem. Mine a battery. Don't have that problem. Question: does the small difference amount of resin change the temp? No, this one might actually take a little bit longer to go off because there's not as much to generate the more there is, the quicker that'll generate. So this one might generate a little bit slower, but there's about 3 degrees between them, so there's not a great deal of difference in the temperature at the moment. You use just a couple of drops of alcohol ink to tinge the resin. Makes sense. That's a good idea, actually. I might do that on that. I might just put a couple of drops to tinge the resin of a nice colour. What colour do you reckon? Do you go purple to match the purple, or do you go red to match the red? Just a few drops, just to give it a little hint of colour. What do you reckon? If we do this one with a little bit of colour of resin, would you use a red or would you use a purple to match the colours? Answers on a postcard. Hi Heather, how the devil are you? I hope you're well. Purple, red, 50-50 at the minute. Red, blue, purple, Miami, red. So what we got? 1, 2, 3 reds, 2 purples, 1 blue, orange. Thanks for that. Green, well done, Glyn. Silver, Andy. I do worry about you sometimes. Red, and purple are the. There's more red than there is purple. Oh, I hope you're not too hungover, Heather. Hope you're not too hungover. Thank you, Doug. See you later, mate. Take care. See you on the next one. Black. Colin. Black. What would you put black in it? Yeah, I'm thinking red. That's what I'm thinking. Yes, of course you can, Pete. Anytime, mate. Anytime at all. Oh, giveaway tomorrow. So Pete's doing a giveaway. Oh, right, okay. So you're not too drunk then. You weren't too drunk. So this is now starting to go. 50 degrees centigrade degrees. In a farmer's field. Oh, best place in. I'd love to live it. Oh, do you know what? If someone said to me, here's 10 acres of land, there's enough trees around to build your own log cabin, there's running water, then I would be in my element. Solar panels on the roof to give me a little bit of electricity, running water. What more could a man want? Peace and quiet. Heaven. Hi, Wesley. How you doing? We're not doing too much exciting today, Wesley. We're just doing a bit of resin. We're actually waiting for the resin to generate a little bit of heat so we can pour it to cast a blank. Internet, Steve? I can live without internet, Andy. I can live without internet. There's too much in the world going on that causes everybody heartache, and I can live without all that. If I didn't have it, I wouldn't miss it, would I? There's more important things in the world than internet, I believe. Yeah, don't blame me, Dara. Hunting season. We've only got a few months. Well, actually, how long we got? Month and a half? No, 6 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and our game season starts. Oh, don't tell me that, Heather. Man, don't say that. That'd be so nice. Be so nice. Yeah, but if they was brought up to live in an environment that I described, they would find other things to do um, than be on the internet. And I will be honest, my kids have never been sat down in front of a computer to keep them quiet. We used to play games with them, and I'd bring them out in the workshop and would make stuff. And my oldest one, before we had the youngest, in an evening when because Nick used to work, you perhaps heard of Beryl pens. Nick used to work at Beryl. We both used to work at Beryl pens. Nick used to work there in the evenings, and I used to do 6 till 2. Nick used to do 2 till 10. So I'd have Chloe in the evening. I would bring Chloe out here, and she'd sit on the floor with all my nuts and bolts, and just put all the nuts and bolts together. We'd spend hours out here, and she'd be clearing up and making stuff, and even if I was just cutting all bits of wood up and hammering nails into a bit of wood. That's what she would do. She would very rarely be sat in front of the telly watching telly. Like I say, we used to spend hours and hours and hours playing games, board games. I don't think, yeah, they weren't never palmed off in front of the TV or internet. Right, so we've got a few bubbles on them. I'm just going to pop those bubbles. So I've got a little tiny blowtorch here. I'm just going to pop these bubbles before we pour, because it's getting close. So I'm going to put you back on overhead cam now, so you can see. So you can see what's going on. Right, so overhead cam. So it's there. So what I'm going to do first, I think I'm going to pour in all the sky blue. Try not to create too many air bubbles. And I'm going to pour a bit of green up this side. It's now starting to go because I can feel the temperature boiling in my hand. Then we're going to pour a bit of the darker blue in. And then I'm going to finish off that green along that edge. What we need to do is we just need to keep an eye on it while that's starting to cure, or until it starts to solid, to pop those bubbles. So I'm just going to get a few seconds to push the air up to the top, and then I'm going to just pop the bubbles, just clean those. So as you can see, the air is starting to push on the top there, so we're just going to go over and pop those bubbles around the edge. Now that might look like that on top, but underneath it'll look totally different. I pour them when they hit about 95 degrees, Roy. Depending on the resin you're using, really, because some resins cure at different temperatures. This actually starts to cure about 130. So that will now generate heat. See, that's now at 99. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, wrong camera. So you see that up there? 99, 98, 100. So you see that? Obviously, the further I get away, so it's 102 now. As you can see, the steam's starting to come off of that. So that's now starting to go. But that will look like that on the top, but that look totally different on the inside because obviously that's curing. So it's 106 now. So that will gradually build up temperature and start to go solid. But I pour when it gets to about 90, 95. But obviously you got to be careful because it's hot through the pot. It gets hot. So if you get it on your hands or whatever, it's going to burn you. So just be careful. And like someone said, you should be wearing safety glasses as well. So make sure you wear the proper equipment. Right, just leave that. Let's see if I'll come over here and read the questions because I can see them better. Yeah, kids don't need to be stuck in front of TV. Steve, did you know my brother-in-law at the pen place, Jeremy? No, don't ring a bell. Name don't ring a bell. Do you know what department he was in? If you were to keep pouring the small amounts left in the cup when it's full. Yeah, what I do is if I have any leftover resin, I pour them in a pot and I leave them in a pot and then I turn them into eggs. I turn them into things like this. This is what I do. I end up leaving them and like I say, different colours. I just pour my waste into things like that and you end up with things like that or one like that where you just got leftover resin. And then I just turn them into eggs and every now and again. I don't waste it. I don't throw it away. Yeah, Brian wouldn't like this, would he? Yeah, hopefully. Like I say, that'll be drying today. I'll knock it out tomorrow sometime and then I'll cut a slice off it and then we'll be able to see what it actually looks like inside because it never looks on the inside what it looks like on the top. And look, that's now starting to go hard, look. So that's how quick it goes from liquid to solid virtually straight away. No, if he was in sales, we wouldn't have met him, Kev, because I was an engineer on the shop floor, so I wouldn't have met him. Right, so I think this is still wet, so we can't do a lot with that. That's still tacky, and if I pour resin, that's just gonna go haywire. So I'm not going to even attempt to touch that until that's dry, perfectly dry. So we've done what we want to do. Like I say, we've done this one. So hopefully that's going to be okay for Brian. Well, slice of it will be okay for Brian. But basically, that's just the principles on casting. Obviously, I cast my own pen blanks and other bits and bobs. I cast pen blanks in that one, and also I made a mold quite a while ago, similar sort of size to that, but not quite as deep. This is made from that HP DM or whatever it is, which is non-sticky to resin or whatever. Same sort of stuff chopping boards are made from. Resin won't stick to it, so that was ideal to make that out of that. This one came from Amazon. Bit expensive if you buy them. I think this was about 29 quid. So, and for what it is, it's not really the best made thing for 29 quid, but at the end of the day, I wanted a second one. So, right, so we'll leave that and we'll see what happens, and then we will see how we get on. Like I say, I'll pour that either later today or tomorrow morning. We'll get that ready for next Sunday. Like I say, that's going to go in the pressure pot. That's going to take quite a bit of resin. I reckon that'll take nearly 2 kilos of resin to fill that up. Maybe a bit more, maybe 2.5 kilos. But we'll let it cure so it's all dry, and then we'll fill it, and then we'll stick it in the pressure pot and see how we get on with it. Right, so I'm going to go back over to the other computer and we'll say farewell. Arrogant, yeah. There was a few of them at Beryl, believe me. Right, so let's have a quick look at this. Where did you get the mold and how much, Steve? Right, so the massive 150 by 150 mil blank. It's 5-inch, 50 mil deep. I believe it came from eBay, and I'm sure it's about 30 quid. Don't quote me on it, but I'm sure it's that sort. If you just type in 150 by 150 millimeter by 150 millimeter resin mold, it should come up. Yeah, some nice colours. I hope they're going to come out okay. John Foster, thank you very much, Steve. A good learning session. Take care. And thank you very much, John. Thanks for coming over. I hope to see you on the next one. Have a great day. Thank you, Dr. Bob. You too, sir. Right, so I think we're there. So thank you very much to everybody who came over. Hope you've learned something. Hope I've answered all the questions. Hope I've not missed too many questions being on my own. And hopefully you've enjoyed. Thanks for staying with us. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. Resin's not everybody's cup of tea. But I thought it would just be something different other than turning that we always do. So other than that, I will see you. Don't know. I'll see you Friday for sure. Don't forget Stuart Farini's on Friday night with us. Special guest Airworm. As like I said earlier, as always, Stuart's a great guy, one of the good guys, great at colouring, and I've just got to try and do a project that's going to impress him. That could be interesting. So, other than that, have a great week. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Other than that, speak to you soon. Take care and bye for now. Thanks for coming over.
That's all, folks.